Hi everyone, this is Alpha Ali. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing okay. So today I'm doing another VOD review. This is actually for Robin, and it is a Diamond 4 game. They basically put this game is a little bit long and annoying. I feel like something is wrong with my movements and how I res. I'm trying to make my way to Masters, but I keep feeling like I'm making many mistakes that prevents me from doing so. Alright Robin, so I guess we'll kind of look to see how our movement's doing as well as like how we're doing our reses basically. Just to see whether there's anything that we could do to, you know, alternate it ever so slightly. Just to make sure that either we're not dying as much or we're making sure that we're keeping up the rest of our team as we're doing so. But just a quick reminder, if you guys want your own Mercy VOD review, are you wanting your own free Mercy VOD review? I do them live on my Twitch for free at 2 PM UK on Sundays. They cost 7,500 channel points, which you simply get by just watching the streams. If you can't make it that time, then do not worry, as I also record them offline whenever I'm free, and all of them get uploaded to this channel. But if you guys want to see any of my own gameplay as well, you can visit my main channel. If you do need any help with anything, then do be afraid to message any of my lovely mods on Discord. The links for everything that I've just mentioned will be down in the description. Now, back to the VOD. And yes, so I guess we'll kind of like just get straight into it, looking at our team comp. This is a really good team comp. We obviously have our Zarya, who when high charge is absolutely amazing to damage boost. Ashe is just your obviously your main bleeding target, really great just to sit there and damage boost for like the dynamites, and also just in general if you don't really have anything to do, especially like for example at the start of team fights. Junkrat's really good as well to damage boost his spam if he's spamming into like a room or something, really good to damage boost. Juno as well. Juno is quite good to damage boost. I've not really played too much with Juno at the moment, but I will say it's really fun to play with Juno. It feels like playing Lucy or Mercy, but better, because obviously, you know, you have more like sustainability basically, because obviously Juno does more healing basically. So that's really how it feels, and it feels really great. Obviously, once again, damage boost Juno when you can. My only key thing is when you're playing with Mercy Juno, try not to use your ultimates at the same time, because your ultimates are very similar. As in, they're pretty much the exact same ultimate, just Juno's is just better. With obviously Juno's all obviously provides a lot of healing, a lot of damage boost, basically what Mercy's Valk does, but just in kind of like a array kind of thing. So I would recommend not using these at the same time. You can try to alternate them, but we'll look more into that as we're getting on. Look at the enemy team as well. Obviously you won't know at the moment, but your main thing is obviously you'll want to try and maybe outwit the Sombra, try to make sure that you're not getting hacked by her, make sure that we're using cover against her, so when she goes and hacks us, we can just hide somewhere, or like, you know, be proactive and be kind of already out of the way. And obviously the rest of these just basically, you know, staying out of LOS of the soldier that's probably going to be pocketed by the Mercy, and just making sure that we're being well aware of the ball. And yes, I kind of like just get straight into it. We have pink on as well. Love the pink as well. Really great. And yeah, I guess we'll kind of like just get straight into it. Nice, obviously already starting off with our Ashe. Very nice. Nice, so you can see ball rolling through. With this ball, because you know he's going to roll through, save your GA for when he slams, okay? So what I mean by this is obviously, so you see the ball in a second, right? And you're like, okay, it's going to roll through. Don't be afraid just to start backing off already, like walking backwards. And then instead of you trying to GA back before he does his slam, because what's going to happen is he's going to like obviously roll through, up, slam, and then do whatever he's going to do basically, alright? Save your GA for after he slams, because the slam can give you some really good height. And also, if you try to GA before he slams, you'll end up doing like this weird GA and then just kind of like, you know, just kind of like getting stuck where you are basically. Because obviously the slam down will like ruin your movement, okay? Wait for the ball to slam and then use the height he's given you to use a nice like clean GA away from him, if obviously if he starts attacking you. If he starts attacking someone else, so you can kind of like, you know, just stay and do whatever you're doing basically. But yeah, just it stops you from losing your momentum as you're doing so. Nice. I don't really know what your Zarya is doing, to be honest. You're in beam range here, so there's no need for you to GA here, because you're taking a lot of damage by just doing that little GA forward and back. Because you are still in a range of the Juno, there is no need for you to do that GA in and out, so just stay where you are, put your beam on your Juno, and then obviously come back to these guys. The reason as well why you don't want to be using your GA like this is you want to wait to save your GA for the ball, because obviously when the ball comes rolling through and everything, and say he displaces you, you want to use your GA to get kind of either back to where you were or back away from him basically. If you're using your GA like this and the ball rolls into you, you're stuck for a second because you don't have your GA, and that means that you could possibly get picked off, especially if it's like, you know, if you're weak and everything. So save your GA here, don't use it. Instead, just obviously, you know, help keep these guys up and then go from there. Alright, we're keeping going though. You can hear ball obviously rolling from behind. Nice. Nice movement there. Like that. You played that really well. Oop! Wait, hold on. Sorry. We don't want a position where we just did. Hold on, I'll show you in a second. So all this is great. All this is great. Loved all this. Your position and movement here is absolutely like perfect. It's this point in a second. If we look to see where we are, can you see how we've opened our complete back now slightly to the enemy team by positioning ourselves here? Because let's say I'm main like this, I can see you, okay? If the ball is going to come and roll like through, or you're scared of the ball, instead of you coming around this side to play this side. If we played this side and we kind of play here-ish and jiggle peek like this in like this little corner, or even better, like kind of like further back over here, it means that we're not opening our back as much to the enemy team. So just try and like play in this room, use your beam linger like this and kind of like re-peek it like this. You can also obviously, you know, come around to this side as well if you want to. You just run the risk of someone being down here. But I'd recommend being further back here rather than where you're positioned, on the just in case someone ends up being main. Alright, keep it going there. I can't remember which one you were on. Nope, you're not that one. You're that one. There we go. We keep it going though. Nice heals. And awesome. Nice. Okay, so Sombre's kept our Ash. Don't be going up in the air like this, okay? What is this doing for our positioning? It's doing nothing, okay? If you want to get, because what can happen here is a Sombra can just very easily just turn her attention onto you because you've just used a 2.5-second cooldown going up in the air like this, okay? And let's say your Ash is not very good and misses all of her shots. You are now going to be targeted by the Sombra because you've used your GA cooldown. Very easy. Cube, and you're gone, okay? Instead of you doing this vertical, also because you're the soldier as well, you don't want to be trying to like up yourself like into the LOS of the soldier, because let's say the soldier wasn't pushing there, he's pushing main. That's it, you're gone, you're dead, okay? So instead of you doing this vertical super jump like this, use a GA once again back into this room. GA yourself far away and back away from the Sombra while still keeping yourself out of LOS of the soldier. You can do this by literally just GAing yourself into this room, okay? It then means that if the Sombra wants to then focus you, you know, she has to really come and work for you. Let's say obviously the Ash like missed all her shots and then she starts coming for you. You're already so well far back, okay? You just want to make sure that you're not making yourself a target for this Sombra. Alright, we keep on going though. Not doing it for your Junkrat there. You can res it though. Nice. Don't super jump this or like just do anything like this, okay? Just do a GA cancel res, okay? The reasoning is because let's say the ball just obviously hears that you're going for a res and then will come instantaneously to come and roll you, or the opposite thing, let's say that the ball then suddenly goes to focus someone else, like for example he's gonna go focus your Ash in a second, okay? If you do this like little like flicky res like this, your GA is once again going to be on a really long cooldown. I mean that means that we're not gonna be able to use our GA to quickly get back to res to go and help the Ash, okay? Because what could happen here is, right, we flick up and then we're stood here waiting for a second, okay? If we just GA cancel it, use our Juno, because obviously, you know, our G is already back online as soon as we finish the res, and then we can be straight back to go and help our Ash in a second, okay? So just make sure that when we're doing stuff like this, make sure that we're just, you know, we're not doing a weird like flick up like this, we're just doing a GA cancel just to help like this. Alright, we keep it going though. Luckily you do end up having it back, which is really, really great. Nice. Awesome. So we have ourselves our Valk. We're nowhere near Juno ult, so you know I recommend. Ooh, where are we going? Don't know where we're going though. But I respect obviously that you use the roofs, okay? We don't once again we don't need to position ourselves all the way up here like as we are doing. You can just be playing as we are doing, okay? Because you going over here is not going to like help your positioning whatsoever in any way, okay? Just honestly just stay back down here and just use this pillar to jiggle peek and keep your beam onto the Junkrat like this so we can damage boost his spam, okay? Because right now we can't really do, you know, Ash isn't doing anything. Ash is just sat there looking for someone to come main when in reality we can hear them all coming on the right hand side, okay? So sit here and damage boost your Junkrat instead and just sit back here. You can even play like in this room ever so slightly and like jiggle peek like this basically, but there's no need for you to be going like up onto the roof like this. It's a very nice save from you though to get back. But we just want to avoid putting ourselves into the enemy team like that if we can. Heroes never die. This is not a Valk scenario. I know why you think it's a Valk scenario, but it's not. And the reason is because you've made you've made the venture back off and everyone has backed off, okay? It's not like everyone's like coming into your team, okay? Because if the enemy team was coming in as they were, then I'd say Valk, okay? But because the enemy team is still playing like really far back and they've not even come out here, or like, you know, they're not even maining or anything, your team are completely fine. Sure, a few of them are losing a bit of HP, but you know, that's nothing that a Juno could very easily put. I don't know what the ability's called, but you know the one where she like kind of like fires out like mini torpedo rocket kind of things, and like they either damage or do healing. She can put them out, and you know, very easily help the team. Okay, so there's no need for you to Valk here. It's honestly, it's just better here if you just kind of you just stay over here and just vibe. All right, but keep it going though. I'm gonna see what you end up doing with this Valk though. I would have probably Valked at this point, you know, like where the mines end up being put out. But you can't do it for your Junkrat there. Nice res. Just when you go for that res, making sure that you already have a GA to get yourself out. Because don't get me wrong, like I love this res, but can you see how like, I mean obviously your Zari bubbles you, which is very, very nice, okay? But let's say the Zari didn't give you a bubble and you're doing this res. How are we going to escape this res? Where are we going to go, okay? I need you, when you're going for this res, to make sure that we're looking for an escape route very, very quickly. And just be like, okay, where am I going to go after this? Because it isn't so much a risky of, like, risky reses, but it's still quite risky, okay? So we just want to make sure that we know where we're going to go after this. We know who we're going to GA to. We know how we're going to escape this, this team fight, basically. All right, but keep on going through. Nice helping, obviously, your Junkrat, and nice, obviously, team win. I think my only issue with that team fight is very much just you use your Valk, like, way too early, basically. But I want you to use that Valk a little bit sooner. So if you can, don't flick yourself, like, over that wall when you don't need to. Yes, the ball's rolling through, but you have all your team there to, obviously, damage him because the ball's just fed at this point. So just, honestly, stay where you are, just in case a soldier's, like, main or something. But we keep it going. I find it so funny as well that Zara's not playing up here with any of you guys, but it's all good because you're doing the right thing. Ball's gonna roll in. Make that a GA into the room again. Same thing again. I know that you want to get away from this ball, and it's really, really great that obviously, you know, you're saving your GA for that slam and then using your GA to get away from him. Very, very nice. But once again, flicking ourselves out puts us in LOS of the soldier. If this was a higher ranked lobby, your team would be more coordinated and very easily just be able to shoot you down, okay? Instead, when the ball slams you, we need to GA ourselves into this room over here and use like this health pack to kind of like top up our health. Then if the ball rolls into us, then obviously, you know, we can GA ourselves like back away to like this health pack or something like that, or GA ourselves all the way to our Zarya. Just to make sure that we're not in LOS of the soldier. Alright, but keep on going though. Stay low to the ground here because we don't want to put ourselves in LOS of the soldier. Hold on for your Ash there. Okay, let's talk about all this. Let's talk about this. So, what happens here? So I think it all kind of comes from this section here. I feel like you're a little bit too close here. So you do the super jump, which obviously I told you about. Don't do that. And then you end up becoming really, really close to your Ashe, okay? Why are we playing so close to our Ashe? It's not like the ball's anywhere near us, you know, to be able like to roll into us or anything. So we could just play our distance a little bit more here. Play all the way like back here on the stairs. Play quite far back. Because what ends up happening is you end up taking quite a bit of damage from the venture. No, obviously this isn't going to help your Ashe's case whatsoever, okay? You've done your job to keep your Ashe up. But can you see how you've taken so much damage because you're just playing too close to your Ashe? Instead, if you were playing back here, the venture can't reach you. So they're not going to do any damage to you, okay? So play back over here. Obviously, yes, Ashe is going to die, is what it is. But then we can kind of, like, gauge the situation a little bit better. You know, we have our Zarya to back off here. We have our Junkrat to use to maybe sling ourselves with health pack or sling ourselves back to this health pack or something. Alright, but we just don't want to be playing as close as we did at this scenario, okay? Now, at this point, we end up kind of slinging ourselves just out into the open, okay? This is a GA without a purpose, okay? If we want to GA somewhere, I would recommend GAing up onto this high ground here. Or, for example, because we know our tank is playing very, like, main and very centralized, we GA ourselves over to this pillar over here. I'm saying this pillar because then it gives us the opportunity to help our Juno or help our Zarya, okay? Because what should happen here is our Junkrat's quite full HP. He should go for the Mega, and then obviously he can use his concussion mines to kind of like escape out from the ball, okay? So we're not really too fussed about the Junkrat, especially especially because he has them stuff there. Compared to our Juno and our Zarya, who are very kind of out in the open, and we know that Soldier's going to have visor very, very soon because he's not used it, okay? So instead of you just slinging yourself out into the open when we know the Soldier has visor, making sure that we're slinging ourselves out all the way to over here. So it means, yes, we can go and help our Juno if we need to, or we can go and help our Zarya if we need to. Alright? So then, visor ends up being popped, so we're like, oh great, I don't know what to do, okay? As soon as that visor gets popped, I'll be thinking, I can't save my Juno there, okay? Is there any way that your Juno survives this when there's a Venture and a Soldier with a visor on them? No, okay? So as soon as we see that happen, I'll be thinking to myself, okay, how can I keep myself alive? And what I'll be doing is I'll be looking straight at my Zarya and J'ing myself out and away. Because if I J'ing myself out and away, the visor's not going to focus me, it's going to focus on Zarya. Zarya's going to have a lot of charge. Hopefully she has a bubble. I know obviously that she's just used one on the Junkrat, but I'm hoping that she's going to have one soon online so we can get her out. I don't think she's got any charge though, because she's not really been doing anything. No, okay, she doesn't have any charge. So even if she does die, it's not too much of an issue. Obviously, she had more charge, and obviously we want to get her out. But she has, like, no charge. And she does have a bubble as well, which is really, really great, okay? So what I'll be doing here is instead, as soon as that visor's popped, and let's say I'm playing as I was, let's say I was playing back here, and we hear that visor and see it, I know for a fact that my Juno's not going to live there. So I'm just like, okay, bye, and just leave. Reset yourself, get a quick reset, because when we come in for the next team fight, we're going to have our Juno ult, and we can very easily, like, win that out with just the Juno ult. And probably we can maybe build up an Ashe ult as well, if your Ashe does a lot, okay? But that's just overall just, like, a little bit of decision-making there. That's fine. We reset, though, which is good. Hope your Junkrat, your Junkrat isn't staggering a tiny bit, so just make sure that your Zarya doesn't stagger here. Because if your Zarya staggers here, then this is going to be not great. Alright, keep it going though.
60 seconds remaining.
Nice. Instead of you coming main here, by the way, go up to your Ashe. The reasoning is because A, we want to try and get Ashe her ultimate because she's going to do a lot of damage from this high ground, but also B, with the ball, we want to try and make sure that she's okay. We've not just choose a sling down here to, like, you know, no man's land basically. Who cares if our Zarya's weak? Juno's here. Juno's here to help the Zarya, okay? And it's not like 5 people are on the Zarya, so she's going to die, okay? Zarya is fine. We want to try and make sure that we're rotating ourselves up to where our Ashe is going to take this high ground. So then we're there and we're being proactive for when the ball is going to come and slam down like he is doing right now, okay? So, nice that you obviously, you know, you come through this, like, little, I guess, gap in the mountain. This is nice. But then if you need to get to your Ashe, use your Juno to GA and then sling yourself over to your Ashe. And then you can just play over here. Because you can play back here, so it means that you're not going to get slammed by the ball. But also, let's say our Zarya does need a bit of help. We can very easily just come forward and help her out like this, okay? So we just want to try and position ourselves so we can help all of our team rather than just some of our team. Right, we keep it going though. Nice. Using a different, obviously, way to get to your Ashe. Because we realised that, obviously, you know, we're not going to be able to there. Use that sling to come up here, by the way, instead of bring yourself out here. Because could you see how this sling ends up you being out of this team fight for a good second or so? Because, you know, we have to wait for our sling to come back online. When we're using our slings, we want to try and make sure that we're making this sling. So once again, we're coming back up to here so we can play with our Ashe. But then we can also, obviously, you know, help these guys as they're going to push in a second, alright? So just once again, make sure that we're amending our positioning and our movement ever so slightly. So we're with our team a little bit more. Keep it going though. Nice lane. Valks, nice. Very nice Valk. Nice. I like this is a very good Valk. This is a much better Valk compared to your first one, Robin. I really, really like this. Okay, let's quickly talk about it though, because I do have a slight issue with it. So this is fine. All this is fine because obviously, you know, you want to sling yourself out, okay? As soon as you get slung out though, I'd be popping my Valk. And the reason is because A, you get your J reset on the just in case the Soldier has LOS of us. But also, it just means as well that it gives us that bit of extra movement on the just in case, alright? So, probably back a little bit sooner here. Other than that, really, really great. Love it. Love how you go straight to point, okay? Very, very nice. Can't do it for your Juno, though. Is what it is, because obviously, you know, the mines are all there and she just ends up getting focused down. Is what it is, okay? I want you to make sure that you're peeling for your Ashe a little bit sooner here than what you did. But very, very nice damage boost onto your Zarya. I really like all that damage boost. Next thing with this Valk that's a little bit iffy for me is you end up tunnel visioning on this res, okay? and your Zarya ends up becoming quite weak as you're doing so, make sure that you know that your Zarya is okay and she's quite safe before we go for this res, because you've just gone, I want to res, I want to res, I want to res, and you've not looked at how the rest of your team is doing, okay? Obviously, it's a good res. It's a very, very good res. I'm not doubting your res, but it's just making sure that you check that your team is okay before we go and do that res, just to make sure that, you know, your Zarya doesn't get picked off, for example. All right, we keep it going, though. So obviously, very, very nice res. I like it. Good res. Nice heal. Nice damage boost as well, but at the end of it, nice. Okay, how are we going to position ourselves now? Nice. Very good. Nice. Love that. I love all that from you. Just make sure you're staying up here, in my opinion. I prefer using up here, because that means you can still get back in to help your Zarya and everything. Because if your Juno's backing off like this, just make sure you top it up ever so slightly. You don't need to top up to full HP, remember, because, you know, she'll have that self-regen, plus she has the shield regen as well, so it means that her health's going to kick back up really, really quickly, okay? So just, honestly, leave her, you know, just top up a tiny bit, leave her to self-regen, because then if we're still stood up here, we can still go back down to go and help our Zarya in a second, because we want to try and make sure that she's staying up for grab. Alright, we keep it going though.
Fire at will.
Nice. Ooh, where are we going? We end up getting a little bit lost here. Use that sling just to get yourself off to the point and give yourself a breather for a second. We want to try and, you know, assess the situation for a second to see who's alive and where we need to go. So don't be afraid just to take that kind of like second here, because you're still in beam range of everyone, right? Just make sure you sling yourself over to here so you're not going to be an LOS of anyone, basically. Alright, keep it going though. Don't go into that room. What? Okay, you guys are actually winning it though. But yeah, last, obviously, little thing here is when you do this GA in a sec. Why is it all gone dark? Oh, it's because I'm in a wall. Just, when you go to obviously do this like GA with the Junkrat, just don't GA yourself up like this. Instead, use the momentum that you built up from the GA to sling yourself back all the way over here. Just once again, so we're not going to be going into that room with the soldier. But with that, really, really well played. I loved all of it from you, Robin. I think you've got a really, really good Mercy. Definitely. I think it's just mainly your proactiveness, in my opinion, because there's quite a few times where we're not ready for what the enemy team is going to have, okay? And it might just be, you know, that you're not ult tracking, so you don't know what they're going to have, but also you're not kind of ability tracking either. So it means that, you know, we end up being not so much caught out, but it's very much that we're not thinking about what we should do when, you know, we end up, for example, like, let's say the ball slams us and we end up G'ing ourselves into the LOS of the soldier, which we don't want to do, okay? So I want you, when you're, you know, when you end up not so much being caught out by these abilities, but we end up, you know, obviously having these abilities used on us, how are we going to maneuver ourselves so we don't end up getting caught out by these guys? Because it's happened a few times where we end up kind of doing a really weird GA, so we're not staying with our team, okay? We want to try and make sure that we're using a GA to not only keep ourselves safe, but also try to keep the team up as much as possible. And then other than that, though, your reses were really good. Just obviously make sure that your team's okay and make sure that we're doing just a GA cancel to make sure that we're not leaving the cooldown on massive. All right, keep it going though. So we have ourselves a little bit of a different team comp here. Because they still have the ball, I'll be looking to make sure that your Widow's okay. So I'll be kind of like having a half eye on your Widow, but obviously staying with my Sojourn because she's going to be my main Blee Boom. Just purely because obviously we don't want her to get rolled down by the ball. Now, why are we G'ing ourselves in here as well? Because I feel like I've paused at a really good moment, okay? The ball's going to slam. So, once again, use the slam momentum to do our GA, okay? Don't panic. Just allow the ball to slam you and then G yourself over to go and help the Sojourn. As well, when we're G'ing ourselves over, make sure that we're looking down and away like this, because at the moment, we don't know if they've got a sniper or not yet, because they might switch to Widowmaker ourselves. And if we just do a nice, like, hi, Widow, a GA like that, can you see how, like, our head's gonna get taken off, okay? So, I just stay here. If I'm still in beam range of the Sojourn, then I just stay here because I prefer this side personally. But if the ball does end up slamming down, then we can wait for him to use, you know, for him to slam before we GA to go and help our Sojourn. Because if he ends up obviously, you know, focusing on us, then we could GA ourselves, you know, out in like just a piece of cover. Like, for example, all the way over here. You can GA all the way like over to here basically to stay out of LOS of him. Or if he ends up obviously slamming down our Sojourn, then same thing, we can still GA ourselves, but obviously not to as much cover in my opinion. Like I'd still obviously GA myself like over to here basically. Or maybe GA myself out to like where the Widow is. But we could just keep our Sojourn up, okay? Because what ends up happening, I bet, is your GA ends up being a little bit wonky. Oh, okay. You do actually end up hitting you, which is actually surprising. Let me watch this. How do you not get slammed here?
Enhancing your strength.
Now we're talking.
Sorry, I'm just really intrigued into how you don't get slammed here. Wow. You should have 100% been slammed here. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know how you don't get slammed here, because what should have happened here is you should have got slammed and your momentum should have just stopped where the ball was. How? Sorry, I need to watch this from another angle. I genuinely need to know how you don't get slammed here. Oh, I've just ruined it. Okay, no, I don't care. I don't care that much. But anyways, keep it going though. Same again, make sure that we're not cheating into the ball when he's rolling about, because we don't end up getting knocked with his momentum. Make sure that we're pushed up. Okay, let's quickly rewind all this, because I feel like we're just G'ing ourselves into the ball here at this point, okay? Okay, we see ball. I would just do a GA cancel here. GA cancel. Wait for the ball to do his rolly thing, whatever he wants to do. If it comes on to us, then we can sling ourselves all the way out over there. If you focus on someone else, obviously, you know, we go peel for them. Just once again, we don't want to be G'ing ourselves into the ball, because we don't want him to knock our momentum. Alright, keep it going though.
Need some assistance?
Nice. And then we know our Sojourn is going to slide up in a second because she has quite a charge shot, okay? So what I'd be doing here, instead of you doing this backwards GA, which is, you know, not getting you any better positioning because you're still, like, pretty much in the same, like, position as you were. Instead, I'd be looking to GA forward with my Sojourn, but sling yourself back all the way over to here. It means that you can still stay in LOS of her and you can still stay in beam range of her, yet we're not peeking like how she is, because she's going very aggressively here, okay? Just making sure that we're still staying out of beam range and we're still staying with her, okay? Because we do end up doing this little backwards GA and it's giving us no better positioning whatsoever, okay? Make sure that we're using our GA to get ourselves that better position of coming over to here. Keep it going though. Let's see what ends up happening. Nice kill for your Widow. Just make sure at the end of that GA that we're using it to go somewhere. Like, for example, let's say using it to go and help our Sojourn. Nice. Make sure with this vertical GA, because bear in mind, I don't mind you playing up in the air on this map, especially because you have these really high buildings. So it allows you to play quite high up, especially, you know, it does really help out when you're playing against the ball and everything. Just make sure that we're using our cover still. We're not just, for example, like, can you see how very out in the open we are? And yes, the soldier isn't stood there because he's too busy trying to, you know, go for the Widow, which bear in mind, your Widow's made a very bad decision here. It's not your fault if Widow falls here. But make sure that instead of you doing your GA up into the air like this, that we're using our GA to get up into the air like this. So we can still, like, you know, sit here and damage boost like this. And just kind of jiggle peek this like this. Because we don't want to be out in the open. Keep it going though. Can't do it for your Widow there. It's what it is. Same thing again, make sure that we're GAing with a purpose here, because we don't want to just be GAing ourselves out into the open like this. Use your GA to get yourself either back to where you were or to sling yourself back for something, just so we're not out in the open again. Nice GA away.
Just what I was looking for.
That GA there, by the way, I would have made that so it comes over to here. On the just in case that your Margaret ends up coming out of the room, so you can end up obviously helping him. Or if you do want to help these guys desperately, you can also come to this side, basically here. Just to make sure, once again, that we're in beam range or near beam range of everyone at all times. Unfortunately, the Sojourn ends up falling here. You did as much as you could to try and help her up. That is what it is. Nice GA though. Sorry, nice res even. Same thing again, instead of doing like the sling at the end, use just a GA cancel bunny hop. So just do your GA, cancel it, bunny hop, and res. Because let's say the ball ends up rolling into us, we have a GA already to get ourselves back with the Ash and GA ourselves back. Alright? Keep it going though.
I owe you one.
Come here for healing.
Fortunately, Junos end up falling. I like that you're going with your Sojourn on a flank here. Because you can't do it, especially if your Mog was not peeking you or anything, which he wasn't. Nice positioning here. So if again, if we're really safe where we are, just stay where we are. There's no need to do this like backwards J's back to where we originally were. We need to save our J's for when the ball's coming through. Like down, for example. We don't have res yet. And I would avoid resing now at this point.
Thanks.
Nice, I'm really glad you don't res. Nice position here because you know the soldiers on that side. Very, very nice. Nice. Make that a sling though, like round to where the pillar is, rather than all the way back here, because you're playing it a little bit too safe here. Do it to the pillar here. Because if you do it to the pillar, then it means that, you know, we can still go and peek some of these guys. But also, let's say that we end up getting here and then realize, oh my god, someone's here. Then we can kind of, like, play around the pillar like this, basically. But we keep it going.
Damage boost working as envisioned.
I don't like this Valk. I don't like this Valk. You should not Valk here because your Sojourn's just gonna die no matter what. Okay, let's quickly talk about it. So we're helping our team out all the way over here, and your Sojourn just ends up kind of sliding in like very, very aggressively here. I feel like if we need to go and help our Sojourn, we should have already like done it a little bit earlier on, which is, you know, to obviously sling yourself around like this to try and help her. But she's gone really, really aggressively here, and that's not on you, okay? So don't Valk it. She is 1 HP, she's just used the health pack, and she's gonna just have a soldier turn around to her with a blue beam, okay? So there is no healing in the world that you're gonna be able to do to keep her up throughout that. So don't Valk it. Don't Valk it, instead just play back, play passively, just work on either trying to get rid of the ball. Then, if, you know, your team ends up obviously, you know, getting rid of the ball and they end up clearing the mines quite a bit and we start progressing forward, then I'd look to go for a res with our Valk possibly and, you know, engage him with that. Or just, you know, just doing a straight G forward and just resing this little, like, cranny bit, basically. Alright? But if you're using your Valk to try and save your Sojourn here, you can't do that because you're just not going to be able to keep her up, basically. Alright, but keep it going, though.
Heroes never die.
Fire ends up happening. I love how you're using this sign, but even better, just use like your Juno, for example, GG yourself all the way back around here. It'll give you some extra movement and more cover you side. Oh, this just really makes me giggle that you're using the sign like that. I don't think I've ever seen anyone, by the way, use the sign like this to keep cover. I didn't even know this was here, to be honest. That's actually quite smart. But yeah, obviously, instead of using the sign here, you can also, you know, use that for a second or so, don't get me wrong. But then we can use our Marga to back ourselves off even more. Because the mines are going to provide so much space for, you know, the soldiers to walk forward and just be able to devise a down main in a second. So what can happen is he can very easily just walk forward and then just shoot you like this. So just be a little bit proactive here, where yes, you can use the sign for a second. But once you use it for that second, then use your Juno to back yourself off in a way, like, a little bit further back. Oh, now I really love the sign usage. You did actually end up walking forward, which works out for your team. Same thing again, we have Valks, making sure that we're still playing in cover because we don't want to peek the soldier again. I feel like you end up kind of realising that and you're like, oh my goodness. Do you just do a G bunny hop there? Nice. Same thing again with the sling, okay? Just stay in that room, okay? If you're safe, stay in that space. You're really safe in this room right now, okay? So just allow your team just to push forward with the Juno ult and just sit here and just damage boost these guys, okay? Force the ball to roll into you and then you can do your sling out, because once again, we've done this really, really far away sling and it's not going to help our team in any way because we're not staying in beam range of any of them, okay? We want to try and stay in beam range, so then when our soldier pops the ult, oh look, we can go with her. We can G ourselves all the way up to, you know, up to this high ground like this, for example, and sit here and help our soldier on like this, whilst also helping the rest of our team if we need to, using the Juno ult, okay? But use this to sling yourself up onto this high ground here, just to help our Sojourn. Keep it going though. Nice. You can see the soldier, nice ping. If we know the Sojourn's there though, sorry, if we know the soldier's there though, and we know the ball's there, don't be once again G'ing ourselves up there, because we know where he is. We know where he is, okay? Yes, we pinged it as well. We've done our job. We've done our job of pinging it, or like obviously in VC, if we're in VC, letting our Sojourn know that's where the soldier is. Now we want to correct our position to make sure that we don't end up getting caught out, okay? So instead of us doing this G up like this, use your Sojourn to G yourself all the way over to here, okay? Because then that means then that we're still, obviously, we can use the rest of our team to get back to them if we need to, but also we're still staying in that beam range of our Sojourn, and we're out of LOS of the soldier, alright? We know that he's there, so work on our own survivability and work on backing ourselves off to help ourselves there. Alright, we keep on going through. Nice peel for your Sojourn here. Just same thing again, just make sure that we're... Whoop, whoop. I would have personally not done that, because I can hear obviously that he's got his health pad down and everything like that. So we just want to try and make sure that we're backing off with our team here, because can you see how separated we are now from our team because we decided to do that, okay? Instead, just leave the soldier behind, okay? Who cares? Who cares if there's a soldier behind? Allow him to be behind and just GA so we're back with the rest of our team, okay? I'm gonna see what ends up happening now. Look at your teammate do coming back for you, which is really, really nice. Yeah, we just want to make sure that we're playing so we don't end up being split off like that. Instead of doing a GA up here, by the way, use a GA off to the side. Just once again so we don't end up being slammed by the ball and we have like a really good look onto everyone. Nice. I like that GA. Nice. Lag should be management there. A lot of people have to say, but Ashe is really, really weak there. Why don't we switch our beams to Ashe? Because Ashe is up in the air. Ashe is up in the air. The soldier's dead, right? So the Ashe is not going to get affected by the Ventral. So really, really nice that you obviously, you know, you help the person that's probably going to be affected by the Ventral, which is your Sojourn, and then go and heal your Ashe when she gets back on the ground. Very nice beam management there. Loved as well your movement here as well and how you stayed over here where it was safe. Very, very nice. Loved all that from you. Nice. Remember, as soon as Mark is above half, we can start pushing damage boost a bit more. We've done 3 super jumps here, and all 3 of them are not giving us any better, you know, positioning. I didn't mind the first 2, because obviously, you know, we were still playing in cover, but this third one, you see how it's, you know, just, once again, is putting ourselves up in the air. Instead of you doing a 3rd super jump here, I'd rather you used it to make yourself do a sling into this kind of like archway like this. So then we can vibe and play like this over here. Keep it going though. Nice. I don't like that sling because remember, if we're safe staying in that space, we can still reach our marker here by, you know, where we were basically playing like this archway. So if we're safe staying in that space, just stay kind of helping him here, and then we, you know, we can pop the Valk as well for the extra healing to be able to try and keep him up, especially because we're getting towards like this last team fight and we've committed a lot of ults into this. So we want to try and win it, okay? So just instead of you slinging yourself out, it's like where the mines are, sling yourself out into this LOS like this. If we're safe, stay in that space, stay safe where we are, and pop the Valk over here if we need to. Nice. We can res, Oh. What we do? Are we looking to C9 here? Because it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, they're gonna be stuck like glued to that payload, alright? So what ends up happening? I wanted you to go for a res, man. I really did. Because what's going to happen here is either you go for the res and you die. Okay, that's fine. Because we're resetting anyways. We can go and reset. We can probably come back on like a Kiri or something. You know, for example. Because, I mean, they're not going to have any ultimates to come back with. Which is, you know, still really, really great. But we can come back on something like a Kiri for the Zuzu or something like that. So, I would instead of you, you know, just kind of playing your life here, I'd go for that risky res, okay? Because if you get the res up on your Marga, this is going to be an absolute game changer to keep you guys still in contention. Because remember, your Juno's still alive and your Ashe is still alive. So what I'd be doing here, your Marga dies. His orb is like here-ish, isn't it? Oh, it's like somewhere around here. Look for that risky res, okay? Who cares? You know? It's either you guys end up, you know, you end up resing him and he ends up doing a lot, or you res, you both die instantaneously. That's fine. We reset, we go again, okay? There's no harm in going for a risky res like this, especially when we're in Valk. You know, we used our Valk, we used our main key ability. It's either we're gonna, you know, just die and then reset with the rest of our team. So there's absolutely no issue with you going for a risky res here. Alright, keep on going there. I'm just gonna fast forward it because you end up kind of spending a lot of time on this roof. Where in reality, I would have liked if you went to go and peel back for your Ashe, because your Ashe is still alive after this team fight, remember? We want to make sure that, she, you know, she, for example, doesn't end up getting rolled by the Venture. Because, yeah, can you see how we end up coming, you know, coming to look for this C9, but it's not going to happen because, you know, someone's just stood completely on this payload. We want to try and make sure that we're staying with our Ashe now instead of trying to go for a sneaky C9. Like, I end up, obviously, you know, going back here, very, very nice. But it would have been better if you stayed with your Ashe. here. Nice, Podu, your Bastion. Why is she teabagging you? Best to hit like one bullet on you than teabag you. Alright, Robin, but other than that though, honestly, Xald and Valk can play to the end screen. There is nothing more you could do there. I'm gonna be honest. You played exceptionally well this game. And the only thing I can say to you, because bear in mind as well, the mistakes I'm telling you are very minimal mistakes. Because they are not mistakes that have fully impacted a team fight at all, okay? It's not like you've got yourself picked off. It's not like anyone's like really died significantly because of the mistakes that I'm making. All these just little mistakes that I'm telling you are just ones just to amend for future games because there could be reasons why some, you know, for example, your team end up like falling quite easily. This is completely not on you at all. You played beautifully for the majority of it, okay? Let's focus on you though and what ends up happening with you, okay? My first kind of, I guess, big thing for you is you're doing a lot of these like mini super jumps, especially when you're getting towards like the end of the game, okay, where like you are panicking ever so slightly. Don't panic. Remember your positioning. Remember where you need to position, and just make sure that if we're safe, staying in that space, just staying where we are, and making sure as well that you know, we're just making sure that we're staying in like a nice piece of cover basically, and we're not just kind of like randomly jigging ourselves out into the open. Make sure as well the positioning that we're choosing is positioning so it's really well that, you know, we can help the rest of our team as well. We just want to try and make sure that we're just, you know, positioning ourselves so we can help the rest of our team whilst also staying safe for ourselves, because there's a few times we end up in a weird spot. Reses were okay. Obviously, we talked about them as we got, you know, for like a base by base situation. But I think overall as well, they weren't really too bad, to be honest. Just obviously, you know, amending how we do that res, making sure that we have our GA on cooldown to get ourselves back and away, and make sure that we have that escape route available. My main thing with you actually, Robin, is your Valks, okay? The main issue that I have is that we're not popping our Valk either to do the right thing or position ourselves well, or just overall, like, the Valks seem a little bit iffy from your end and they're not very impactful, especially on your attack, okay? If you feel like someone's gonna die and, you know, your beams are not gonna be able to, you know, help with that, like for example with the Sojourn, leave them to die, do a reset, come back in with your Valk in the next team fight and just push in with that, okay? Because I feel like your last kind of two Valks were not so much wasted, but they weren't the best, okay? So just make sure that we're really kind of being aware of that. One as well, key thing as well with the ball as well. You did it quite a few times, which was really great, but do this every single time, okay? Wait for the ball to slam and do his movement before we use our GA, okay? Because we should have definitely gone caught out when we first like started our attack and everything. But just overall, just in general, we just want to make sure that we're not being caught out by these like ball slams and stuff like that. But other than that though, Robin, obviously please do let me know if you have any more issues, but other than that, you played really well, and please do not, you know, beat yourself up about any of that loss, because your beam management was really great, and I feel like your beam priority as well and who you needed to beam was really great. Just making sure that we're sticking with them a little bit more if we can. But yeah, just once again, thank you so much for everyone on YouTube that's been watching this. If you guys want to see some of my own gameplay, I do obviously have my main channel where I post all of my games. That'll be linked down in the description, along with the Discord link as well. And just the Twitch link as well. So I was trying to think as well, because obviously, you know, I stream the majority of these VODs as well as my own gameplay over on my Twitch. So you guys do want to check that out. Obviously, all of it is in the description. But just once again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye!